The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And it's Friday, and I hope everybody survived the holidays in good health and good spirits. Look out for the flu. It's coming. It's already here. We got a...
Chip got his flu vaccine.
Yeah, I got my flu shot. Well, hey, I used to never get them, but now I have, and I got one in the military once, and I got the flu, so I didn't take it for
That's the number one reason why people say they won't get the flu shot is because they're going to get the flu.
Well, I did get the flu actually,
Right.
and I was very, very young and healthy, and I was in the military. But I got the flu. I don't know, maybe it was probably coincidental. I probably had it before the shot. So, but it is what it is. I get it now. Better to be safe than sorry. But we got a ton of stuff here today. It's Friday, but
It's the end of the year. Everything's rolling out.
everything's rolling out. I don't know, CJ. What are we going to take first? The city council blames oversight. Well, city council never takes responsibility for
anything it does.
They're like the rest of the government. We never. All we do is exacerbate problems. We don't take responsibility for the ramifications of anything we do. And welcome to government when you don't replace these swamp rats periodically on all levels of government. So there should be term limits in every office. The only way we'll ever stop this disintegration of society. This is like watching the Roman Empire disintegrate when I look around at this society, because now the next thing they're talking about is they had somebody actually want to say that they wanted to classify the word geek and nerd as hate speech, so they can go to jail for calling somebody a geek, although most geeks are proud to be called geeks, you know, and it's just totally...
We're taking political correctness to the
well, and we're hurting, and the thing about the political correctness is it's hypocritical in the first place, because most of those people who are always hyper-politically correct are the same people that if you have a different opinion call you a fascist,
right? And
they want to stab you in the head with a knife because you have a different opinion. So that is, to me, that is hypocritical humility. Oh, we care about everybody. We're doing this out of the goodness of our heart. And what do we get out of this? Nothing but problems, and we can see it all the time. Nothing ever gets fixed, especially, as we said on our first show so long ago, we're entering a new year. We're going to be on, what, 8 years now?
Yeah, something like that.
Mass to open monitoring centers for drug users. So here we go again. We're going to, the drug problem started in the 70s, really got bad in the early 70s, almost the late 60s. We attempted first to control it. We attempted first to stop it. Then somewhere along the way, we used the political correctness as propaganda to hide the fact that we found out there's a ton of money in this industry. And it just kept getting worse and worse. So we shifted our focus away from prevention, putting everybody in jail. And what do we do now? Now we're going to give them centers so we can watch them and they don't overdose. Then the next step will be somebody will say, well, you know, they're coming in here and they're bringing in tainted drugs. So let's give them drugs. And now Buttigieg, or whatever the hell his name is, he was on, I saw an excerpt on TV, he wants to legalize all drugs, meth, crack, heroin, everything. Let's make it all legal. Even though we've proven that with marijuana that doesn't help anything, because it hasn't stopped the influx of marijuana. As a matter of fact, it's getting even larger. Because the illegal marijuana is undercutting the legal marijuana.
And it's better.
and it's stronger. And so we're going to legalize all drugs. That's not going to eliminate it. But on the other hand, you talk about this paradox, this dichotomy we have. At the same time, people are screaming about the drug cartels killing Americans, and it's coming across the border more than ever, even though we have a lot more people trying to stop it, who they're trying to get rid of. But they want to designate the drug cartels as terrorist organizations. So maybe we can send the military in, because maybe make an agreement. But you look at this thing and you look at the way it has just progressed over the history. First, we were trying to stop it. First, we had programs to get people off drugs. Then we threw the towel in because we knew we were making money on the deal. So we create all kinds of places where they're treated and retreated, and we give them Narcan. Now we're going to give them a place to shoot up. Next thing they'll do is legalize the drugs. Or they're going to try to legalize the drugs. It's a never-ending bat. And what are they going to do? You know, this morning I was looking at something ironic that we had this here. Probably why. Do you know that I think the latest statistic, the former drug czar under Bush was on this morning. I was watching him. We have 62,000, more than 62,000, but less than 63,000 apparently. More than 62,000 deaths a year from opioids. That's more than all the men we lost and women we lost in the Vietnam War. Every year. So we're going to legalize drugs, make it easier for them to procure drugs, allow them to bring illegal drugs into a place where they shoot up, provide them Narcan. We think that 62,000 is going to go down. It's going to go up to 150,000 deaths a year.
Well, I think Buttigieg is taking that, legalize all drugs from what European countries have done.
Yeah.
Like Portugal made all drugs legal. And allegedly, the drug addiction and drug problems went down because now they can buy them anyway. You can walk.
Yeah, and what do you get for drug trafficking in Portugal?
Not a whole hell of a lot, I guess. Or maybe they just drive it in because they can buy it at the pharmacy in Portugal.
Yeah, but what do you get if you're a illegal drug trafficker?
A life in prison.
Yeah, it's not like over here,
right,
where nothing happens to these people. Or we've got this kind of just, oh yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it.
Well,
it's a money-making industry. Yeah. They don't want to end this. The treatment facilities, the Narcan companies, even the police departments where they confiscate any kind of drug stuff, they keep it. So that's actually a profit-making thing for the police, because they seize and confiscate all their properties. And with all that, are we really enforcing? We see countries where drugs, well, you go to Amsterdam. Drugs have been legal in Amsterdam forever. But don't illegally traffic drugs. But we go out of our way. We allow illegal traffickers. Look, the cartels have not gotten weaker since 1970. They've gotten stronger. It's absurd. The society is totally, the United States, you can't fight on two fronts. That's how Hitler lost the Second World War. He was fighting the Eastern and Western Front. If he wouldn't have tried to lose Russia as an ally and chose to attack Russia, they may have won the Second World War.
Well, what a different country we'd have today.
Oh, you're not kidding. We wouldn't have the drug problems. We also probably wouldn't be, most of us wouldn't be alive. but that's another issue. But I mean, just look at the history. Because if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. Let's look at the evolution. We started having a drug problem in the late 60s, early 70s. We still remember the commercials. We talk about them. Here's your brain on drugs, you know.
The egg,
Yeah,
the fried egg.
the fried egg. Don't get busted in other countries. Yeah, so there was an attempt to control it. Then all of a sudden, the evil catalyst, money, people started making a lot of money over it. So it was like, yeah, we're working on that problem, but let's give them Narcan. Let's give them this. Let's make it easier. With all this and 50 years to fix this problem, it's worse than it's ever been. We're losing 60,000, 62,000 people a year.
Well, you know, here's the thing.
And once we start continuing making it easier, and I'm not talking about legalize. Look, you go to those countries, show me a country where they have no enforcement for illegal drug trafficking when they have legal drugs. A lot of these countries, you get life for drunken driving.
Right.
Or 20 years. So don't compare Europe. I've been to Europe. I was stationed in Europe. You're not going to tell me. I can tell you what. When a Polizei drive up to you in Germany, they'll drag you out of the car in a heartbeat. There's no body cam. We're going to put this cop in jail. One time we crossed the German-French border, and there were 50 caliber machine guns set up at a checkpoint because there was some criminals were attempting to escape. You think you'd ever see 50 caliber machine guns set up at a checkpoint? They were going to turn those guys into Hamburg if they tried to run that check. That doesn't happen in the United States. You'd have every police officer, you know, the police chief would be in jail, the governor would go to jail, everybody'd go to jail. But there's a difference. In those countries, they control it because prison is not a vacation. It's not a rehabilitation stint. It's not a place where you go to lift weights and get in shape for the summer. Over there, and anywhere, even in the Dominican Republic. I remember when I went to the Dominican Republic, our guide said, oh, there's the prison. Nobody wants to go there because most of the time you don't come out. That's not what they say in the United States. And now they don't even want to send them to prison.
I know, that's the big problem.
So, I mean, look, this is just, you know, it's crazy. And what do we got? The lunatic fringe unravel in our society. Political correctness. Now, the Hallmark channel has been accused of spreading fascist propaganda.
Yes, I know.
Fascist, to have a movie that actually has, like, well, I even said it because it's politically incorrect now to use that word, normal. Normal people in their movies. And they don't accurately represent LGBTQ, XYZ, BT, or whatever. It's a damn movie. Nobody puts a gun to your head to tell you to watch Hallmark. You're going to call them a fascist because they're making a movie? That's like saying people, you know, if you advertise candy, that you're a terrorist because you're conspiring to rot children's teeth. I mean, it's gone from the ridiculous to the sublime. I mean, it's totally out of control. The lunatics are trying and attempting to take over to run the asylum. We want to give everybody everything for free. But the people who work for a living and pay all the bills can't get anything for free. And that segues into the next one for me. Pharmaceutical industry mounts opposition to state's effort to curb drug costs. Wow, what a surprise, CJ, huh?
I was stunned when I read that. I mean, absolutely stunned.
Stunning. Stunning that the pharmaceutical companies don't want to continue to rape and pillage the American citizen. And remember, we're worried about about a Christmas movie being fascist propaganda, and we worry about making it easy for giving everything for free to illegals, and screw the people who are paying, like you, hundreds of dollars for insulin that you could sell for like 25 cents a vial if you wanted.
What's very interesting about this whole thing is this is a state effort, because I guess our House and our Senate are introducing legislation to put some controls on the pharmaceutical industry, which I didn't know they could do. Personally, I thought that was only a regulation that was rested with the federal government.
That's what I thought, but they could give it a shot, but...
Hey, but what's going to be interesting is that, if that passes and it's upheld, who's going to pay the difference in price? Other states. So Rhode Island will get a kick in their price, Hawaii, and it won't only be a kick in their price to pay what we're ripping them off for, or what we're getting benefits for our citizens for. It's going to be enough that they get 10 times or 20 times or 100 times the amount they lost in Massachusetts.
Yeah, and that's the irony of this, because this is what disturbs me about people. They're worried about all this other minutia, which is irrelevant, really, in the scope of things. And the real issues, like being able to pay your bills for the working people, they're worried about giving freebies to people who are here illegally all the time. Now there's one about refugees again, and they're not refugees if they're illegal. That guy just got locked up in New Bedford, was it? The pastor?
Yep.
He was an illegal. He was raping women in a locked room.
Yep.
So he's an illegal. So yeah, bring them in. But the pharmaceutical companies, to get back to the pharmaceuticals, it shows how greedy. Well, if you're paying attention, you already know they're greedy. They have absolutely no regard for you as a human being. They don't care if you die tomorrow.
Profit margin.
As long as they get, like that one whose father was a senator in West Virginia, who got an $18 million pay raise when she jacked up the EpiPen price.
Right.
Like the CEO of CVS Caremark, who the last time I checked was getting $32.8 million for his salary and his stock options. That was his annual income, $32.8 million for him, not for the company, for him. And these pharmaceutical companies are opposing their efforts to curb their cost when you can buy any of their drugs anywhere else on the planet Earth cheaper than you can buy them in the United States. So if you work for a living and have to pay for your drugs, shame on you for allowing your government to waste their time with this BS when we got an election in a year that they're doing now. And if you don't vote everybody out that wasn't trying to cure this pharmaceutical problem on a federal level, and allow these companies and find out how much they're donating to their campaigns. Because how can anybody sit in Congress or in our state house and not try to curb because they're making trillions of dollars, not billions, trillions.
And remember, the pharmacy lobby, when Obamacare started, had them write into that law that Medicare cannot fix prices on drugs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Medicare is the guiding light for most insurance companies on what they pay for and what they won't pay for. So when you write that in now, it doesn't matter. The political lobby has gotten so good that they went to Canada. You and I talked about this recently.
Yep.
They went to Canada, and Canada cannot ship out insulin. They cannot sell insulin to non-citizens, and they can't sell enough that you can take back to the United States.
Yeah, and how much of a kickback did their politicians get for that deal? Well, we know that. Just like when how much did they siphon into Obama's campaign for that little vignette in the agreement? Make sure that they can screw you on pharmaceuticals. This is a great health care plan, but by the way, they can tuck it to you on pharmaceuticals. And believe me, I got to deal with this thing almost on a daily basis, and nothing upsets me more when I look at the printout of the fact that how much we pay for our drugs in Canada for the same exact drug that you pay in the United States, and like I said, from a 33 to an 85% difference. And in some countries, it's even cheaper.
Yeah, and I hear that the pharmaceutical companies want to start lobbying Congress again to stop importing drugs from other countries.
And on a federal level, there was an attempt to allow us to go to Canada and buy drugs. So that's what I said. Here we are in the United States. This people is the reason why you have to vote these clowns out every 2 years or every 4 years, or at least after 2 terms. Because all it is a big game. They're pretending like they're trying to do something. The people that want, the pharmaceutical companies are paying them, they're lobbying to screw us, and then the other politicians will say, well, yeah, but we're trying, we're going to try to allow us to buy. See how long that lasts. See how long that lasts. Just like our legislature, just like this. Our great legislature is talking about curbing drug costs. We had a, what, $1.1 billion surplus in the state of Massachusetts?
Yes, we did.
That's right. And almost 3 years ago, maybe longer, I'd have to look at the date, I testified in front of up at the State House about attempting to reduce the cost for public employees over the age of 70 by having the state try to make some type of supplement offset for them, for their drug prices. I proposed the bill. I wrote the basic bill. It was rewritten. And you know what's happened to that bill? Absolutely nothing.
It's in the circular file of the House and Senate.
It's in a circular file, and I remember that very well. I still have the pictures of the testimony before the State House. Nothing happened. Don't tell me you didn't have the money to at least begin trying to help people pay for their farming. This is another exercise in futility. Just like the federal government. Yep, we're going to be working to buy drugs in Canada. It's the big game. The Republicans and Democrats fight over everything and nothing gets done. Because that's what they really want. They want to go up there, collect their fat paycheck, go back to their base, get reelected again because their base wants political correctness, or their base wants them to be anti-illegal, and they pander to their base, they get reelected, and they stay there forever, and nothing gets done. And it's the old catch-22. They blame each other. It's a giant circle jerk. Oh, it's his fault. And that one says, oh, no, it's his fault. Oh, it's the Dems, it's the Republicans. It's BS. We've had a Democratic-controlled government in the state of Massachusetts for, what, a zillion years?
I think so.
I think the last time we had a Republican, it might have been before the Revolutionary War, and they weren't even a real legislature, but it drives me crazy. And we're starting a new year with what? More crap. So, and there was a kid, oh, I guess that shows how routine it's getting. There was a murder over the holidays.
Yes, I know.
And
the worst part about it, this guy was so stupid. He got his sister or his girlfriend involved, and they dragged the body behind Gold Medal Bakery area. Mm-hmm. And the girlfriend or the sister or whoever it was called 911 to report it and tell them where the body is. And she helped put the body there. It's amazing. Only in Fall River. She should have been charged with moving moving a body or whatever, interfering with a corpse or something. I don't know. But it's very interesting.
Well, I mean, it is interesting, but I mean, another murder in the city, and as I said, there's in our low crime area from the Chamber of Commerce, but Fall River's always, and they had the Gina commercial on about the marijuana facilities, and of course Amazon comes under fire for injuries at Fall River's warehouse, where it's why are we we got a lot of injuries. We're unique. Are there somebody trying to look for a disability? I don't know. Whether somebody's looking to go on workman's comp, or are these legit? They're going to have to investigate.
Well, what's very interesting about that is Fall River has 3 times the number of injuries than other Amazon facilities. And Amazon wants to open 3 more facilities in Massachusetts, one in Quincy, which isn't too far away.
Yeah, then it's 3 times higher than the industry average, which means maybe not only Amazon, we may be 3 times higher than the industry
Right.
average. So, I don't know.
It doesn't surprise me in Fall River.
Well, there are a lot of people that unfortunately like to sue people down in this area. You know, they'll fake a fall. They're looking for a disability. You know, they're going to get, I don't know. But if it doesn't make sense. I mean, 3 times the average. If you had a little bit higher than average, then again, it may be something they're going to have to do a really in-depth investigation.
Yeah.
It could be the fact that they're hiring people that are maybe
Unqualified?
unqualified or physically not qualified to
Right.
do the job, and they get injured because they're not capable of doing the job. So what are they going to have to do? Give a fitness evaluation too? Maybe they're hiring, you know, because I know that I don't think Amazon has a different criteria for hiring at this Amazon. I know they have a much harder time, and even now, and they're getting 3 times the rate of injuries, this is probably the most difficult Amazon on the planet to recruit employees.
Right.
Because, why? Well, we talk about that all the time.
What would be interesting is if they say, you know what, this facility's costing Amazon way too much money. We're just going to jump
Yeah.
ship on it.
Yeah.
We'll give them their TIF money back. We don't want to bother anymore. But I was just corrected. It's called abuse of a corpse. You know, our viewers, they're on top
Of what?
Abuse of a corpse.
Abuse of a call. Well, we won't get into technicalities because, you know, I think the moral of the story is you shouldn't be throwing corpses in trunks. You can call it what you want, but, you know, you're not supposed to be doing stuff like that, you know?
Only in Fall River.
Yeah, well, you know, I look at this political rhetoric and it just drives me crazy. And then, of course, we had one of our regular viewers tell us we should be talking about our what is her title? Economic Development Director or
Economic
Director of, yeah,
Economic
the one
Destruction.
who doesn't show up to work on Friday. And at first was going up to Boston every Friday, and then the excuse was that she works from home. You don't work from home as an economic director. I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry. You got a 4-day work week and you're making good money, and what have you produced? You produce, you know, your work product is just to justify you know, let's look at the economic development. There virtually is none. Then we got the other one that never shows up to work, but now she's got a 6 slip, but that doesn't.
Well, what's interesting is the Director of Economic Destruction, she wants to open stores on Pleasant Street, and we talked about this before, that are condemned. She doesn't understand the buildings are condemned.
Why
You can't
would
get
she?
permits.
She's not from Fall River.
All right,
She
she's from New
probably
Bedford.
can't find Pleasant Street without a GPS. And the thing is, she looks at a number, because she's not doing anything.
No.
She's not out in the community and knowing. She obviously doesn't know the economic situation in Fall River. How can you have any stores that can fill those things and stay in business when you have a population that doesn't have any money
Right.
to purchase anything or buy anything, number one. But number two, she doesn't care. What she's doing is she's looking at addresses. Oh, this is vacant. This is vacant. Well, I'll put together a paper, make it look like I'm working. Yeah, we're going to try to put stuff in these stores. They're condemned. You know. I mean, but will the council call her on it?
Of course not.
Absolutely not. Will they stop paying Steve Camara? Yeah, December 31st.
Yeah, now that he's out of office.
Will they stop paying Jason Correa? Yep.
Yeah, because he'll be out of office.
December 31st.
Yeah, that's going to be it.
You know, the hell with it. It's only our money. Just like they want to spend they don't care about how much you spend on pharmaceuticals. They don't care about anything. All they care about is staying in office.
It's always something interesting.
Well-
Hey, somebody just asked, where in the world is Faust Fiore? I don't even know if he works for the city anymore.
He's disappeared into that vast void where all of them go. That cold gray twilight where all political hacks disappeared to. There's some like black hole in the city hall where they hide.
Exactly. Hey, we'll see you on Monday.